Hello, hello. This is our final episode of 2025, if you can even believe it. Man, time flies when you're having fun. And we are finishing strong today in this episode, all to prepare you to walk through the 2026 threshold like you own the place. Okay, that is our goal. And so far this month, the theme of December has been Change the Stars. And through that intention, what has transpired has felt completely surreal. We hosted the Change the Stars, a virtual summit. And today, actually, as I recorded this, I got to hand over the final check with the full amount of what we have collectively raised together. And I get to share with you that amount here in just a couple of minutes. But as we stand at the edge of a new year, I want to slow down this moment with you because what I have found, and this is now going on my 9th New Year's Eve as a business owner, what I have found that how you close a year has more influence over what you create next year than I think a lot of people realize. The tone you set now echoes far beyond this moment and will greatly impact the moments that come next. So inside this episode, I'm walking you through a few of my favorite deceptively simple practices that I have returned to year after year, ones that have helped me to set the tone for the coming year, recalibrate my vision to what I really want in my life and my business, clear what no longer fits, and then intentionally raise my standards before January even begins. And don't worry, this is not going to be a bunch of busy work. This is not going to feel much like work at all. Hopefully, it's all truly to prime you to walk in, like I said, to a brand new year, like you own the place. Like when you do that, it's just like reality bends in your favor. And I know that's what I want. So that's what you're getting. Also, you get to hear what next month's theme is. We've decided to continue the themes because those have been working really well for the podcast, and it seems like you are enjoying them. So you get to hear next month's theme, the first theme of 2026 as well. So let's get into it. Welcome to All In with Allie, the podcast for online business owners and entrepreneurs who are ready to create the life and business of their dreams. I am so happy you are here. As you listen to this, we have concluded the holidays besides New Year's Eve. So I hope they have been sweet for you. They've treated you well and you've been able to lean in and soak them up. And if not, that's okay. We still have more time. The first thing that I want to share with you this episode is the full amount that we raised for Change the Stars. So I had an idea over the summer that I wanted to host a virtual summit to support a nonprofit that fully supports kids in Haiti, from their food to their housing to their safety to even upwards of their education. This nonprofit's boots on the ground. Like they literally just went to Haiti and came back. They opened a new orphanage. Like they do incredible work. And I wanted to link arms with some of the best women that I know in the business, all to raise money for this nonprofit for these kids. And as I went into it, I just knew we would witness a miracle, because that's what happens when you're audacious enough to set a big goal and like really go after it with the right intentions. And on top of that, when good women link arms together for a worthy cause, nothing is off the table. So we ended up doing that summit this month in December. And the total amount that we raised together was $40,045. And I'm so grateful. I am so grateful because my logical brain, when I was kind of running numbers and I was looking at the speakers who were agreeing to come on, and I was kind of thinking about like the size of each of our respective audiences and, like a very conservative, but also stretch-ish goal that I thought we'd be able to hit together was 30K. That was my original goal. Like, let's go for 30. I feel like it's doable, but also it's significant. But then over time, I just had this idea in my mind of being able to hand over $100,000 check. Like I could not shake it. I couldn't shake it. So I changed the goal to that. And where we landed was 40, which is absolutely incredible. And I'm at such peace with that because on one hand, that number is incredibly significant. The way that our dollar stretches in Haiti, I've shared this before, but you can literally food and house a child in Haiti for 1 month for $125. Like imagine what 40K can do. So we've really done something here. I really believe we succeeded at changing the stars for these babies, which means that we also change the stars for ourselves. And I just know that God's not done and we're not done. I know I'm likely going to do this again next year. It's going to be better because we've worked out the kinks, like I know what to expect. I know what to do to prepare. I know what to do to make it even more successful. So I know I have that vision for a reason, and we're just going to continue to do more. So anyway, I just wanted to close the loop on that because I've been taking you on this journey with me for weeks now, and it was important to me to be able to say, hey, this is where we've ended up, and we're not done. So stay tuned. So thank you, each of you who joined me in that. If you were one of my speakers, you already know how thankful I am for you. And if you were one of the many, 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 many who gave the $33 to be part of the summit, and many people gave far beyond that amount. I think our largest donation was $2,500, which is just absolutely incredible. We had a couple of $1,600 donations. I mean, it was just like any amount was so great, was so incredible. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Very exciting. And like I said, that this month's theme, as you know, is Change the Stars. That's why we did that. We're going to close out with that. And next month's theme, I'm going to go ahead and tell you that right now to get you excited for what to expect next. But next month's theme is going to be the standard. Of course, the standard, vision recalibration and identity reclamation for a brand new year. So we're hitting the ground running, and not running in the sense of like rushing and feeling like, there's like the time's already clicking, the time's ticking, not like that, but intentionally, right? We're stepping in to a new year locked in, ready to fully embody who we are and who we're becoming to create what it is that you want to create in the new year. So that is next month's theme, the standard. Duh. It's so good. Okay. But before we get there, let's talk about how to put a beautiful bow and pin in the year 2025. It really is so important. Like I said in the intro, I think a lot of people take for granted. They focus on like what they do in January and the first steps. And yes, that's super helpful too. Like it's never too late to raise the standard, to show up as who you're meant to be. And I think if more people understood how powerful it is with how you close out a year and how you literally go through the threshold of a new year. I mean, that's a portal. It's an energetic portal. And it really matters. So I want to support you in doing that in the energy that feels most aligned for you. Again, this is not like hustle vibes. This is not like super masculine. Oh, we're going to bust through that threshold and we're going to own the place. It's not that. It's like, it's intentional. It's intentional. And my years of owning a business, I've experienced so far 8 new year thresholds. This 2026 will be 9. And I can say with certainty how valuable this conversation is that we're about to have, because there have been years that I feel like metaphorically I tripped over the threshold, right? Just like hot mess express, just so attached to still what happened the year prior and unsure about what's coming in the new year and unsure about myself and unsure about what I want and just like blop, just falling into a new year. I've had New Year's where I've like barely crawled over and I'm like very trepidatious and nervous energy and unsure energy of, do I even want to do this again? I don't know. That was really hard. It just felt very anxious. And then I've had a few years where I came in with a hot ass intention and I came in the type of energy that I want to enter a new year, right? Like with a plan or at least a level of vision that I feel excited about. And also the energy and the certainty of my personal power when it comes to co-creating what comes next, right? That to me, that's what it means to burst through the threshold. Like you own the place where it's like, okay, I see where I've been. I have gratitude for that. I'm so grateful and I'm so excited for what's coming next. And I'm not winging it here. I'm open to possibility. I know so much is going to change that I can't even foresee, of course, and I'm excited for that. But for now, I know who I am and I know where I'm headed. And let's go. So that's what we're going to talk about today. I'm going to share with you some of my favorite tips, tasks, reflections to get you mentally prepared for next year. I've got 4 of them for you. So the first one is, and this is true for a new year. This is true for any time you're calling anything in new and you're really wanting to set the tone. The first question is where are we going? What's the plan? What's the best case scenario? What's the address that we're putting in the GPS? And so many people, they'll like sit down with me on a call and they're just like, I know I'm ready for big. I'm so excited for big. I've come so far and this is going to be the year that I quantum leap. I'm ready for that. I'm ready to like collapse time and go next level. And, all the things that like, it sounds sexy and exciting. And like, of course, like who wouldn't want your next level? But when I ask them, okay, what does that look like? How would you articulate what that is? They're like, oh, I hadn't thought of that. It's like they understand conceptually they want growth. They want to evolve. They want to make more money. They want to do more of the things that they want to do, but they don't know the GPS. And the way that I think about this is like literally, so I'm in Tennessee right now, and it'd be as if I went out and I got in my car and I said, okay, I'm ready for my next level. I'm ready to like do something big. I'm ready to go somewhere significant. Okay, maybe California. And I just like pointed my car in the direction west and crossed my fingers and hope for the best. How many, like, if you're listening right now, can you imagine like how many times you've done that where it's like, I think I want like around this area would be cool. So I'm going to point my car in that direction. I'm going to hope for the best this year. I have no clue what route to take. I have no clue the exact location. There are a lot of options in California, right? There's a lot of options for your next level, and there's a lot of paths to get there. So we want to get more specific. And I love when people go into a new year with a word. I think that that's great. I've certainly done it before. My word for this year actually was big, and I feel like I did a pretty good job honoring that intention. We created some pretty big things this year, and I'm so grateful for that. But we also want to we want to flesh that out. I really want you to think like, this is the difference of saying, I want to go to California versus I want to go to this very specific location in Santa Monica, California, or Malibu, California. So what are the specifics? I want you to think about a couple of different things here. And here's the thing. We don't know what's going to happen tomorrow, let alone in 12 months from now. So yes, I want you to get more specific, but it's like, I want this to be something that you allow yourself to hold on loosely, right? To have this loose grip where it's like this or something better energy, but we still need to know the specifics. So we don't have to get like so crazy. I don't want you overthinking this, but I want you to have fun with this. That's the biggest thing. When you think of next year, I want you to feel into how you want to feel. Like fast forward a year from now, and you're listening in to hopefully my December 2026 episode, and you're, like, how are you feeling in your body as you're reflecting on 2026? Project yourself into the future. How do you want to feel? What's the core essence of that? Maybe you want to feel more stable, and you can compare it to how you're feeling now. Maybe you want to feel more stable in your vision. Maybe you want to feel more freedom in what's available to you for you and your family and your business. Maybe you want to feel more connected to a partner or a loved one. Maybe you want to feel like you've lived more life. You've experienced more adventure. You took more risks. Maybe you want to feel like you didn't let fear get in the driver's seat, maybe as much as you did this year or in years prior. Like, how do you want to feel? And then also think of some core accomplishments that you want to celebrate personally and professionally. This just popped in my mind, but one of my dear friends and clients, Lauren Miles, shout out Lauren Miles, she does something really cool where she does an annual bingo card. And I think that this is so smart. And what she does is she puts on her bingo card however many squares that is, and I guess you can make it however many you want, but she puts core experiences that she wants to create for the coming year, right? So like one of the things that she wanted to do was she wanted to host her first retreat for her clients and just for people in her hometown. And she did that. And I actually got to speak at that retreat, but like that was something that was a huge goal for her. She had never hosted a retreat before. She had never spoken on stage before. These are things that they meant something to her. There was such intention and meaning behind it, but they were also stretch goals. And what's so cool, because I worked closely with her in the beginning portion of 2025. And it was amazing because she was like, hey, one of the things on my bingo card is I want to host this retreat. So I'm going to start to get the ball rolling on that. Let's start talking about that because I've hosted retreats. So, she held herself accountable. So maybe that could be something that you do, is create a bingo card for yourself. But this is important because like one of the things that I wanted to do this year was host the summit to raise money for Change the Stars. That first seed was planted actually in 2024 from a Change the Stars event that I went to. So I knew in 2025, this was the year that I really wanted to make it happen. I did not want to wait until 2026. That did not feel right to me. So by the time summer came around, this year, I was like, it's time to get the ball rolling on that. Like, this is something that I want to experience this year, and it's going to take some time to create it and get speakers, etc. So how do you want to feel at the end of the year? What are some core accomplishments that you will get to celebrate personally and professionally? Okay. The next thing that I want you to do here in this step is I want you to properly calculate your 2026 money goal. And I'm going to tell you how to do that. So how most people decide on their money goal for the new year is they just think of like the big money goal that hasn't happened yet. You know, they think of the sexy 6 figures, 7 figures, you know, or like whatever the next thing is. And that's fine. But there's no meaning to it. Some people might have some, you know, there might be some deep meaning there. But for example, I was on a call with one of my clients and she was like, I'm ready. You know, she just started her business and she was like, I want 2026 to be the year that I hit 6 figures in this business. And I said, okay, 6 figures is $100,000. It's also $900,000. So, right? Like, what does that mean? We need to get, again, it's like saying, I want to go to California. Okay. Where? Because that's greatly going to dictate the next moves that we make, the next moves that come next, right? Like what you price your offerings and other things that you do. So how I want you to do this is I want you to do a loose calculation of how much money is required for your business to run smoothly at the level you wish to run it. So for some of you, you know, okay, it's time to hire somebody else on the team in 2026. Okay. That gets added to the current baseline of expenses. Maybe you know that you want to hire a specific coach next year. That gets added to the current baseline of expenses. So you're going to consider for you, and of course you want to base this on your vision, right? Like, okay, for me to accomplish these things, to feel how I want to feel, I need money for this expense. I need to be able to invest in this. I need to be able to pay for this. I need to, right? So you're going to think about business expenses. And then you're also going to think about your lifestyle expenses too. If you are the sole contributor in your family, obviously those numbers need to go into it. Maybe you're 50-50. Maybe you guys have an arrangement where you pay for specific things for the kids and whatever, like whatever the thing is, obviously that needs to be added. And then of course we want to leave room for overflow because we don't know what's going to happen tomorrow, let alone whatever. So like that's your baseline. All of those things added up, divided by 12 each month is your baseline. Now, how much more do you want to add on top for overflow, for cushion, for whatever? Honey, that's your money goal. And you may look at that and be like, damn, that's actually more than I would have anticipated. You may be looking at that and be like, amazing. I'm actually really close to that. That feels really doable. You might be looking at it and be like, huh, okay. You may see that and think, actually, I want to go even bigger. Like that's the baseline, even with the overflow. Like I know I can do that. And I want to 10x or I want to double that and go really, really big. So long story short, the important point here is that you're being intentional with what's required for 2026. That's the standard. That's the beginning of your 2026 standard. That's you saying, I don't want to just go to California. I want to go to Malibu. Like I said, I want to go to wherever, like whatever the specific location is. And now we get to work backwards. Okay. So in the coming episodes in January, we'll get into the nitty gritty there and we'll start fleshing this out a little bit more, but we got to know those things. And also just really quickly on the money goal, When you're that specific and you're that intentional, now that money has a reason, now that money has meaning, that's your why. You understand, I'm not just choosing to raise my prices. I must raise my prices. I'm not just choosing to work the hours that I am or do the specific things in my business and make certain sacrifices maybe right now or, whatever the case may be. I must do that because that's what supports us in living the life that we wish to live. It takes money. Okay. So that's number one. We're setting the vision. We're understanding like what is the standard or a good core piece of the standard for the new year. That is a game changer. Knowing that alone already changes the game. Like you're going into the new year so prepared and primed for what comes next. You're also just going to make so much better. Like you're going to save so much time. I think it takes sometimes people a few months to kind of get into the groove and build up momentum. And often it's because they wait to really figure these things out, or they allow it to kind of flesh it out. And then next thing you know, it's February or March before they're, actually moving toward the specific goal, but not you, not us. Okay. The second tip here that I would give you to put a pretty bow on 2025 and go into 2026 like you on the place is making space literally and figuratively. This is probably, if you know, but if you don't, this might be one of the most underrated tips of all time. Of all time. And I don't know about you, but like, I'll give you an example. In my closet, I have a beautiful closet and I have this, built-in drawer situation for undergarments and gym gear and stuff. And on top of the drawer is a shelf where I keep some jewelry, and there's like a really pretty mirror, and I hang some necklaces, and it's, meant to just be like this beautiful area for jewelry and like, putting on the finishing touches of the day. And it's a shelf in my closet. So what tends to happen in shelves in closets is that's where overflow goes. Like over time, this shelf accumulated so much crap, and I'm talking for months. Okay. I'm actually embarrassed how long it took me to address this shelf in my closet. And finally, the other day, we were going through the house, and I do this like once a week. This is one of my favorite things to do. I will take a trash bag and I will just walk through the house, and anything that's just like, it'll be out of sight, out of mind for the kids. It's just, it doesn't need to be here. I just trash it. I hate to say it. It's gone. It's gone. And I love it. It feels so good. Like the amount of trash we accumulate is, anyway, that's a conversation for another day. So I was doing this one day and I made my way to my closet and I looked at this shelf and I was like, oh God, I don't want to do this. But I was like, damn it, I'm doing it. I'm doing it. So I took a good 20 minutes and I go through all of the randomness that accumulated there. And now I have my shelf back. I have this cleared out space. And I can see my little jewelry, little jewelry dishes that were gifts, and like a couple of cute pictures of the family and just some things that mean something to me. And I know exactly where my jewelry is, and it's all just like cleared and just so. And when I tell you the feeling that I have walking into my closet, it's got to be studied. Like it's got to be measured. How do we measure that? Because it is significant. Just one area of my closet, I feel like I can breathe. To be fair, I am a Manny Gen, or I am a Virgo. So these things are important to me. But it's just like, oh, it makes such a difference. And I actually will stand there and I'll take extra time putting on my jewelry and doing my thing. And it just like primes me for my day. And the way that I enter my day now feels different. It's impacted because of this. Another thing that we did is we, on the side of my side of the garage, we've accumulated like all of these random boxes of just like crap that's gone in and, from in and out of cars and overflow from the house. And then like I'd get out of the car, and because I don't want trash in the Porsche, I'll set it there thinking I'll do something with it later, and then nothing ever happens. And over time, like this is accumulated. And my brother's visiting us, and I was like, let's get rid of it. Like, let's just knock this out. So now I pull into the garage and it is clean and is swept out, and all the cobwebs are gone. And I can open my door beautifully, and I don't have to worry about dinging anything. And it sets the tone. It sets the tone. So anyway, make space, clean, take some time. Okay. Now that the holidays are over, maybe you want to put the stuff away, or maybe you're not quite ready to put holiday stuff away, but go through, and at the very least, in the most important places in your home, okay, your office, your bedroom, your bathroom, the living room, the places that you spend the most time, especially the places that you work, go through, clear out the shit. Take a day, half a day. Some of you, this could be done in an hour. For me, it's going to take 3 business days, but it is worth it. The office, the car, the bedroom, the closets, do it. Another thing that I want you to do, and it again, like it's got to be measured, like what this does to your brain, clean off the desktop on your computer. Another thing, the notes in your phone. I'm not bold and audacious enough and brave enough to go through my camera roll. Like nobody has time for all that. But for some of you, maybe that's something that you want to do too. But doing these things is like the amount of clutter and space this is going to make in your mind. I mean, just talking about it, I feel more expanded. It matters. It matters. So that's making space literally. And then figuratively, I want you to take some time, and at least for your business, you can extend this into your personal life if you wish, but at least for your business, I want you to reflect on what offers, what behaviors, and what energy in your business are no longer a match for your 2026 standard. So I knew far before this moment, I already knew, like going into 2026, I knew that it was time to simplify my offers and simplify my strategy. It was screaming in my subconscious for months. So that's why I made the decision that at the end of the year, I was closing out one of my favorite offers of all time, Rare Mastermind, so that I could go all in on the all in experience and essentially make that the core mastermind, the core coaching space. So I could pour all of my energy, all of my offers, all of my soul into the experience. And then everything else, would make sense, but all roads lead to the experience. And just the simplicity of that and making space, even with things that I love and adore and that were incredibly lucrative for me, I just knew it was the move. It just had to be done, at least for now. So that's one thing that I did. But again, where am I? Behaviors, offers, energy in your business that you experienced this year, you just know, like, it's got to be cut out or shifted and elevated. What are they? Declare it, own it, decide, don't overthink it, decide and move. That is one of my 2026 standards, just to give you a glimpse into one of mine. I am going to be significantly more decisive, and I'm going to move significantly faster. I've increased the rate at which I move. I increased it decently this year, but there's still things that I think back on. I'm like, dude, the amount of mental anguish that thing caused me just because I overthought it and I let it rule my life for days, weeks, even, is an absolutely not. And every person that I study, that I look up to, all the people that I respect, like that's one of their core signatures, I don't know. Yeah, that's one of their core behaviors is they move fast, right? Because they understand that even if that's not the best move, even if they make a mistake, they're going to be able to alchemize it and learn from the mistake and get to the better choice significantly faster by moving quickly and moving forward. Like that's how you actually get somewhere versus overthinking what's the right move, what's the wrong move, should I do this, should I do that, and wasting a ton of time and energy that you could be flowing into other things. So anyway, that was just one of mine. The third tip that I have for you is this is a big one. All of these are big, okay? But like this is really, really important. I want you to reflect on 2025 honestly, okay? And then we're going to do something else, but let's deepen that first. Let's unpack that. Reflect on 2025 honestly. What worked? What went well? What didn't work? Again, what behaviors, what energy, like you can include some of this here. Where was the ball dropped? Where's there room for improvement? What are you proud of? And what things disappointed you? And I want you to take full responsibility. I want you to be fully honest with yourself. This is going to be huge because this will probably help you on figuring out, like combining this with reflecting and making space on certain things. Combining these two is going to help you to get super clear on, okay, this thing has to go, this behavior we're elevating, right? It's just going to support you in that. But I think the most important piece here is taking full responsibility and accountability for what you're creating. I have found the most successful people, the people that I look up to, while yes, we have teams, we have support, like we're not doing this alone. At the end of the day, you're the captain of the ship. If the ship goes down, you're staying with the ship, right? Like it's yours. And it's the people that take full responsibility for that. Not that you don't hold people accountable, not saying that, but at the end of the day, it all trickles down from you. And when you are somebody who takes that level of radical responsibility, not only for your business, but also for your life, I personally think that makes you far more magnetic. It makes you a far greater leader. It makes you somebody that people probably actually want to work for and want to support. And you're probably going to get a lot further in life than if you pull the victim card every time something goes wrong. So reflect. And then if you get to the end of that reflection, you're like, okay, cool. Amazing. I'm so proud of this year. This year was huge for me. I'm so grateful. Like if you're able to look at the year from a lens of gratitude and a lens of pride and you're really happy with what transpired for the most part, beautiful. Beautiful. Congratulations. If you are reflecting and you're like, you don't quite have that feeling, you're like, man, if I could go back in time, I would do so many things differently. If you're not feeling so excited about what transpired this year, I'm going to give you a tip that is going to change your life. This is going to make you absolutely unstoppable on a level that I cannot even describe. And what you're going to do is you are going to rewrite the narrative of the year. You're going to actually rewrite what happened. So what we don't want to do is finish a year and be like, this year was a failure. I did not hit my money goals. This thing failed. This thing didn't go as planned. That I'm disappointed in this. 2025 sucked. I sucked. Everything sucked. Maybe next year will be better. Like, we don't want to do that. We don't do it. We can be honest and say, there was a lot of room for improvement. And I have my handy dandy list of those things, and I will, more importantly, take action on them. That I'm cool with. But I want you to alchemize what happened in 2025 in your favor. You can do this with anything. And simply what that looks like is, yes, being brutally honest about what happened. Maybe you lost family members. Maybe you had a breakup. Maybe you experienced significant losses in your business, or, whatever the case may be. And if you've had, and you really should only do this when you've had enough space from it. So maybe some of you aren't ready to do this yet, but if you've had enough space from the core contributors of your year that didn't go so hot, I want you to ask yourself the powerful question, if that happened for me, why? If that had to happen for me, and what I'm meant to do on this planet and what I'm meant to do next, what are those reasons? So let me give you an example. For the longest time, and I've talked about this, so I'll recap this quickly, but for the longest time, I told the story about how 2022 was my best year in business, one of the best years in business, and 2023 was the worst, the absolute worst. Everything about it sucked, okay? And I was cool with that. But now, looking back, and more importantly, here's where it really clicked with me. The amount of women that I am helping navigate similar experiences, similar timelines and issues that I had to navigate in 2023, the amount of women that I have supported move through these things with so much more grace and significantly faster than I was able to, helps me realize, oh my God, 2023 might have been my best year in business because of that, because of the lessons that I learned, because of the wisdom that I gained, because I was forged in the fire in 2023. I am a phoenix because of 2023, because I chose to stay in the game. I am mostly a good mentor today, mostly because of what I learned in 2023. If you had told me this in 2023, I probably would have been really happy to have that perspective, if I'm being honest. But I was too close to it. And I couldn't, I couldn't see the forest for the trees. I could not zoom out. Zoom out. Zooming out as a business owner is your best friend. It is the best perspective you can get. Zoom the hell out. What are we looking at here? If these things had to happen to you, if these things were divinely orchestrated for your favor, even if the favor piece hasn't landed yet, what might be those reasons? You are going to get a completely different perspective and understanding on what you've experienced this year. Probably times 10. So then you take that and you say, okay, well, that relationship had to end because it ultimately wasn't healthy and it sucked. And I love that person, but I know what I'm meant to do on this planet, and that just wasn't, I know that deep down that wasn't the person for me to be able to do the work that I'm meant to do. I know those failed launches, not hitting, most of my goals for this year helped me to really figure out that I need support. I cannot do this alone, and or things get to shift in my business, and how I'm going to do business in 2026 is going to be drastically different and probably work significantly faster because of the temporary failure that I experienced in 2025. That's what we're on to do. We want to rewrite this story from a hero perspective. How have these things shaped you, built you, prepared you? When you pray for growth, or what's the saying? You pray for flowers and God sends you rain, right? We pray for more money. We pray for more clients. We pray to be one of the go-to facilitators of what it is that we do as a business owner. But we have to be prepared for that, right? If it hasn't happened yet, it's because there's still things left to learn. There's still challenges left to nail. You pray for more money, you pray for more pray for more clients and God says, great, here's a speed bump on your path to California. Here's a detour on the path to your vision. What do you choose to do? Are you going to stop and sit here and turn back around and go backwards? Or are you going to skillfully navigate this and move around it safely with the wisdom of how you did that? That's what that looks like. So I want you to, again, rewrite it. It's a game changer, like truly, truly a game changer. And then finally, the last tip that I have for you to do to barge through the threshold of 2026 like you own the place, like your success is inevitable, and it is I want you to take a beat and I want you to imagine, that vision that you have at the end of 2026 that you've thought of. I want you to feel the feelings of having it now. You want more freedom? I want you to feel as if you have that freedom now. You want more adventure? I want you to feel as if you have that fun and excitement in you now. You want that security, that stability, that safety, that support. I want you to feel as if you are that deeply safe and supported now. You want to see a certain number in the bank? Pretend it's here now. What would that feel like? And then what I want you to do is for the next few days through New Year's Eve, and however much time, you're taking off from work or whatever it is that you're doing, or honestly, quite frankly, as far into the new year and beyond as you can. Like, this is the secret to life, is feeling these things now. But start with just New Year's. How would you go into or lean into the rest of the holiday season if you had everything that you wanted? How present would you be with your children? How flirtatious and light and fun would you be with your partner? How excited would you feel for a brand new year? How much time would you make to phone a friend or a loved one that you've been putting off for a while? And maybe you would go and take a last minute trip somewhere. Maybe you would take a couple more naps. Something like it's going to be clear to you. But do that now, because why you have the vision on your heart, why you want the things that you want, is so you can lean into moments like are in front of you right now. You started this business to have the time and the space and the peace of mind and the presence to not miss the beauty of your reality right now. We are all currently in realities that at one point we prayed for. And if you're constantly in a state of looking forward and waiting for the next thing and the next level and the next thing, and you act like it's a dangling carrot in front of you constantly to where it takes away from your now, at worst, at best, God will just simply keep the dangling carrot in front of you and you won't hit your dreams, because then it will just be like another thing and another thing. And at worst, you miss these moments that are happening right now. At worst, you become that horror scenario that we all think about, which is where we're old and gray and wrinkly and we think back and we feel like we missed out on the best years of our lives, constantly projecting forward and waiting for what's next. You've gotten yourself really far. You're listening to this. You've done big things in your life, significant things in your life. You've gotten yourself to where you are right now, and that is something to be proud of. But if you can't stop and slow down and feel the gratitude for how far you've come, you'll never feel it at the next level or the next level or beyond, because there's always going to be another level. Don't you understand that? Like I said, there was a time where you prayed for the moments that you have right now, for the people that you have, for the kids that you have, for the friendships that you have, for the business that you have, for the level of money that you have right now, and you have it. And if you're not feeling grateful for it, then what makes you think that you'll be grateful when that's doubled? It won't. I used to not be able to fathom what 20K per month would be like, or 50K. That to me was like, If I ever reach that amount of money, I will never want for anything. I will be the happiest woman on the planet. That will be it for me. I will be able to die happy. I just couldn't fathom. And then I hit it. And it became my new normal. And then, of course, it became 80K, and then it became six figures, and it became like it was always something else, because as you grow and as your revenue grows, your lifestyle grows, your business grows. You become a match for that. And then it's like, okay, 60K, okay, 80K, okay. And what you realize is like, it's never going to end. So we don't want to get rid of the ambition and the future vision, because that's what this is all about. We're here to grow. We're here to co-create. We're here to take it to the level that we see for ourselves. That's what we're here to do, but not at the expense of what is now. You get to have both. So again, your final tip going into the new year is feel as if it's already here. Allow yourself to feel free now. Allow yourself to feel safe now. Allow yourself to feel loved now. Allow yourself to feel supported now, present, happy, joyful, adventurous, like whatever the thing is. And lean in. There's going to be plenty of time to get back to work in a few days. But these moments are priceless, and they are precious, and they are fleeting. Cherish them. Because I promise you, when you look backwards, that's what you will wish you had done at all levels. Okay, so those are my tips. Last thing I'll share with you. For those of you who have part of your vision in 2026 be to continue to significantly monetize your brilliance in your way, in a way that actually works for you, that actually works for the lifestyle that you desire, in the way that actually, you know, the way that you want to live, the way that you want to feel, like to create that kind of money your way, your route to California, your specific vision. If that's part of your goals, we have created 3 special offers called the 2026 Threshold. And these offers, each of them would allow for you to link arms with me and me to get my eyes, ears, heart, and genius on your business to support you in doing just that. To further support you into going into 2026 like you on the place together. So one of those offers is a month of group Voxer with me. Voxer allows us to voice message back and forth all day long. It's like having me in your back pocket for a month. This is not something I do every month. This is the first time I've ever done something in this way. Usually it's just reserved for masterminds. But since we've retired the other masterminds, this is a special opportunity that I thought would be fun to ring in the new year together. So you can just do Voxer with me. Another option is, and this is another one that we never do. We've done it one other time in all of the years that All In has been existing, is we are doing a trial experience. So the All In experience is a year-long container, because when you go all in, I go all in. Like it's very intentional. Why? So if you have wanted to and wish that you could dip your toe in and test it to make sure it's the right fit for you, or maybe you just want some coaching at the beginning of the year to prepare you for what's to come, you get to trial January as a temporary all-in experience member. And what's included in that is instant access to all of my programs and 4 group coaching calls for the month of January. So that's the second one. And then the third one is you could just say, screw it. I'm ready to go all in. I want 2026 to be fully supported. I want to know what I'm working on. I want to feel confident in the moves that I'm making, and I want to feel fully supported and mentored. So if you want to join the all-in experience and you want to get that, I would encourage you to check it out very soon, because prices are increasing January 1st. So those are the 3 different ways that we can link arms together and go into the new year and get it off on the best energy and the best foot absolutely possible. And we will link all of those for you below in the show notes. But for now, that's all I have. Thank you for listening to the show. Thank you for supporting me and allowing me to support you in your business. It is truly a joy of my life. I cannot believe that this is my job. I will never take this for granted. I am wishing you the happiest of New Year's and a prosperous and blessed and exciting and joyful 2026. I hope to see you next year. Bye.